trying to poison our sons and our daughters. Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, everybody. Thank you for coming back to another episode of Wake Up with JC. I am JC, and here is my co-host, comedian Just Will.
What's going on, my brother? What's going on?
Oh, man, everything and a little bit of nothing all at the same time.
How you doing over there, brother? You doing all right?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, brother. I'm doing pretty good, man. It was a long weekend, bro. Woo, it was a long weekend. Man.
It was you know what? It was an exciting weekend, though, man. I actually had some fun this past weekend, man, at a job we worked. That was pretty cool, man.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed myself too, but man, I was tired by the time we got to that one. But well, you guys, y'all held me up.
You can sleep when you're gone, bro.
Right.
So you gotta get it while you're up.
That's it. That is 100. But yeah, man. But I'm feeling a lot better now. You know, trying to stay on track, get some things done. So, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Appreciate all the IG folks, all my Facebook folks, and all of those that's going to be listening in on the rebroadcast on the different platforms. Thank you for tuning in. Today is one of a two-part series. And today's subject is the modern man. The rise of the lame and the simp. Okay?
All right.
So, I want y'all to kind of hold on to your seats. And I want you to think about this. And you got any questions, type them in. Give us a call. Let us know. But I'm going to get started. All right? Now, what does the street say about a lame? Most of the time, the streets say he's lame because he's not doing what everybody else is doing.
Right.
He's lame because he don't look like what everybody else look, you know, or the in crowd or what's in. He's lame because he don't talk like the popular people talk. Right? That's what the streets say the lame is. The real lame is the man that won't stand on his own 2 feet. That's the real lame, okay? The real lame is the man that uses excuses instead of solutions. The real lame refuses to prove himself to himself and select others. When the requirement for a male to prove himself as a man was waived, the lame man or the adult age adolescent was given an opportunity to rise and shine. See, that's one of the things about becoming a man that is necessary. He has to prove it. All in nature, when they go from a child to the adult, they have to prove that they're capable, that they're able to be that adult. Especially those that's in charge of either raising or protecting or feeding the tribe, the camp. So when those requirements for young males to prove themselves as a man was waived, the rise of the simp began. And the rise of the lame began. Now, the dictionary says that lame means unable to walk without difficulty as the result of injury or illness affecting the legs or the feet. Now, we as humans, our foundation, that's our feet. That's what we stand on. Okay? Now, as a boy and a young man, the lame was denied the proper exercise and curriculum as a foundation to becoming a man. Your foundation as a person is your feet. If your foundation never gets strong, then you remain weakened and everything attached to your foundation is weakened because it has to lend strength to your weakened parts. And you cannot perform to the best of your ability because of a continuous cycle of weakness. So a lot of them were denied. They were denied access to those things that is going to strengthen them as a man. Now, the biggest difference between a lame and a simp is anti-man. He's anti-proven man. He's anti-solid man. A simp will go out of his way to agree with any and everyone that will require him, that won't require him to actually man up. A simp will bask in symptom. See how I put that out there? That's a new word for you. Symptom.
Symptom.
Yeah. The kingdom of simp. Just because he has a large number of supporters, a simp thinks he's good to go. There's a saying among warriors: I'm more afraid of 100 sheep led by one lion than 100 lions led by one sheep. So these simps, they are lions led by sheep. They've been defanged. They done got their mane cut off, or they never grew it, because see, in the natural kingdom, a male lion, if he get castrated, his mane won't grow.
Oh wow!
And that's what's wrong with a lot of these lames and simp. They've been castrated. Now, at some point, the lame and the simp male, they make it to adulthood. He finds out and identifies his weakness. At some point, every male will say, "Well, I'm really not lining up to what is what a man is actually supposed to do." So he has to make a decision from there. Now, if he has enough momentum on either side, he'll keep going in that route. So if he has enough momentum of those with him telling him, "Don't worry about it, you'll be all right," and they keep pushing him in the direction he was going, instead of making him prove himself as a man, then he'll keep going. And the very opposite, those is pushing him to become a man, he will take those measures in order to man up. Now, if he does nothing, he won't be strengthened. As a matter of fact, he hides his weakened foundation with shiny stuff and decorations. Now, I'm sure you've seen these guys who are ultra fashionable. You know, I think what they used to call them, metrosexuals.
Yeah.
Remember that? They used to call them metrosexuals because they was ultra fashionable. You know, that was their thing. It was all about how they look. Proven men call these things distractions. See, that's a distraction, because you don't really see what you really need to see. You just see something shining. It's just a matter of time before he was found out, so he never commits, and he keep moving around to different people, different women, different groups. As we know in combat, those of us that are familiar with combat, we know that a moving target is a harder target to hit. So it's harder to identify those cats because they keep moving around. You can't tell if they're real or not because they don't stick around long enough to prove themselves. If something comes up to where that particular male has to show he's a man, he'll kind of fade to black. He'll fade off in the distance. You really won't see it. Then when everything else is cool, boom, he'll pop back up for a little bit, disappear for a little bit. To prevent the continuation of lamehood and symptom, he could apprentice with a proven or solid man. At this point in his life, he knows the difference. In this age of knowledge, ignorance is a choice. And a lot of us, we choose to stay in the dark because why? It's a comfort zone. We talk about comfort zones all the time. Real change is never made inside your comfort zone. So you're going to have to get out of that comfort zone. You're going to have to put him, if he's a young man or a boy, you're going to have to put him in activities and situations where there's active listening and critical thinking. Now, mind you, you don't put him where he's making decisions. You just ask him, what would you do in a situation like this? And then you guide him through it. You guide him through it. This is why you do this. This is why that is done. Because if you don't, this is what happened. If you do, this is what happened. So now we comparing outcomes. We are comparing outcomes and which is the best outcome for the situation. This is how we want to bring these young men up. We want to get them out of symptom and lamehood, because you know there's that one saying that I always tell people that you can put a turd in a tux, but at the end of the day, he's still a piece of crap. So we don't need to dress up crap. We need to call it for what we see it. If it hurt his feelings, that's fine, because feelings are just an indicator and an indication of something. It's usually not what it is. It's just how we feel about it. We have to balance our feelings with fact and information, with knowledge, rather. And that knowledge is going to help us make better decisions as men.
Right.
You got to try him. You got to try him. If he's a man, he stand on his 10 toes as a man. As a matter of fact, he don't mind proving himself. His everyday walk is proof positive he is a man. If there's a man or a male around you of an adult age and you don't see manhood in his daily walk, that's a problem. That's a real problem. Because what's going to happen is there's going to come a situation where he's required to be a man. And what you practice, you get good at. And if you practice not being a man and standing up and manning up, when it comes time to be a man, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. Let's hold him accountable. Like 95% of children, he wants to take the easy way, or what he think is the easy way. The lame always reinvent himself instead of being known for being a proven or solid man. There's no need to continue to reinvent yourself when it comes to manhood. Manhood have you standing solid. Anything you do, people supposed to be able to say, well, if he say he's going to do it, he's going to do it. And when he does it to the best of his ability, not just good enough to get done. We have to raise the standard and need to have more expectations, because too many of our men nowadays, they not cutting it up. They not doing what they're supposed to do. And they're getting the accolades for just finishing, even though it may not be done right, or it may not be done to the best of his ability. So now we have a lot of mediocrity. Whatever happened to men being excellent at what they do? It's too much of that multitasking, not enough focus. No one wants to focus. No one wants to practice being the best. You know, when you see cats like bodybuilders put in the work. You can see the result of their work. They have to get in the gym every day, in order to build and maintain. If a person that is overweight, out of shape, and they approach you and say, I'm a bodybuilder, are you going to believe them?
Nah.
Why won't you believe them?
Because the proof is in the pudding, man. If you ain't looking the part, why would I believe you?
Right. But what if he dressed himself up real nice? Would you believe him?
No, just because you dress up real nice, I mean, you still gotta, look the part, and then it also you gotta know have the knowledge as well.
Right. And it's too many passes given out, too many waivers given out, and we need to stop giving out these passes and these waivers, because it's coming to a time where we have to be accountable. We first have to be accountable for ourselves. And that means when we go out, we are accountable for what we do. You know, at that event that we worked at this weekend, there was this young man. He was smoking a vape inside the building during the boxing match. Well, the manager walked up on him and said, "Hey, you can't smoke in here." He said, "Oh man, I thought it was okay. I asked one of the workers if it was all right, and they was like, I don't see why not. So I just thought it was cool." So the manager said, "No, it's not cool. Please stop smoking." He said, "Man, I sure wish y'all would have told me this early." And he just kept going, and I'm like, dude, you really sound stupid right now.
Right.
All you had to say was, "Okay, I won't smoke." So the manager called me over, and I'm like, "Hey, my man, there is no smoking at all in the building." So he run down and tell me the same thing. I say, "Hey, man, it doesn't matter who else told you." I say, "Let me give you something to grow on. If you go to an establishment and you want to know the rules and regulations of that establishment, ask for a manager or the owner. And I promise they will tell you the rules and regulations for that establishment. Some of the workers may not know. Some of the workers may be new. If you want to know, ask for a manager or owner. They'll tell you." I said, "But as of right now, there's no smoking. If you do it again, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." All right. Guess what I saw him do 10 minutes later?
He took another puff, didn't he?
He still smoked. And it's supposed to be a grown man. This is supposed to be a grown man. He wasn't talk too bad. He wasn't cursed. None of that.
He just gonna do what he want to do.
He just gonna do what he want to do. Now, had I snatched him out of his seat and folded him up like a love note and took him on outside, I would have been wrong. But he was spoken to like he was an adult, like he was a comprehending man. And he reverted back to what?
A child.
A child. Childlike behavior.
Doing what he want to do.
And I don't know what else to say. I mean, I don't know what else to do when I'm in public talking to men, because I'm hard on men. I'm hard on them because, you should take pride in being a man. And you should take pride in being able to present yourself. I understand this thing called freedom, but guess what? freedom ain't free. You're going to have to pay for your freedom. You're going to have to pay for it in some shape, form, or fashion. Freedom is not free. If you're not where you pay bills, where you are in charge, you cannot do anything you want to do. You're going to have to do according to the rules and regulations of that establishment, that area, or that environment. It is real simple. I don't know how else to put it. Do you have another way of putting it?
No, I mean it's plain and simple, man. And for the foremost, if you in somebody else's establishment, man, and they tell you, hey, look, this is what you can and can't do here. Look, if they tell you can't smoke in their establishment, then you can't smoke in their establishment. It's not yours. And I mean, either you got one or two options. Either you can not smoke or you can leave. It doesn't make any sense. You can't just go and impose your will on other people's property. You can't do what you want to do. I mean, you can, but there's consequences.
Right. There's consequences for that. If you exercise your freedom, I get to exercise my freedom too.
And my thing is, people, they want to feel like you did them wrong, but no, you can't. That's the problem. You can't talk to people like they got sense anymore. You can't. I mean, there's people out there that, you can talk to and they'll abide by the rules and whatnot, but there's that select few that if you say something like you said, oh, why he got to come at me like that? Dude, we asked you 3-4 times nicely. We talked to you like an adult. And what did you do? You reverted back to childhood-like behavior. So what do you expect? You're going to get what you put out. And if you want to get treated like a child because you acting like a child,
right,
then so be it. I have no sympathy for anything like that because it just doesn't make any sense. It's real simple, man. You follow the rules, won't nothing happen.
It sounds simple enough to me. But I don't try to understand it because I know trying to understand crazy people will drive you crazy. And I always tell people that some things are not for you to understand. Some things are just for you to accept and or reject and go from there.
I mean, what do you get out of it? I mean, it just doesn't make, like you said, it doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to try to understand it because it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, what, you want to give somebody a story to tell them, oh, they couldn't tell me what to do. You see, I still did what I wanted to do. What? I mean, is that the badge you want? Is that the badge of honor that you want? Oh, they couldn't tell me what to do. You look like a damn fool. You disrupted.
There's a few songs that's out, like the Old Town Road, that one hook in Old Town Road and said, "Can't nobody tell me nothing." And I'm thinking to myself, why not? Why can't nobody tell you something?
Hey, L.A. chimed in and said it's an extended adolescence. It's like dealing with children. Sometimes they require ass beating like a child.
Immediate correction. Right. It boggles my mind sometimes that you are going to stand on something as frivolous as breaking someone else's rule.
Right.
You're going to say, oh man, it ain't nothing but this. It ain't nothing but that. But this is somebody else's stuff. You're not at home. If you at home, man, wild out. Do your thing.
Right.
When you in public, be aware of what's going on around you and the people around you. There's no more consideration. I tell people all the time, if the person don't respect themselves, they ain't going to respect you either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel that respect is one of those things that's earned. Consideration is given. Where's the human consideration? Where's the consideration for the women and the kids when you're out clowning? No consideration.
I'm sorry, you just struck something because there were children sitting in the area as well. So I mean, it's just no consideration for the women and children. I think it was even pregnant women in there. So I mean, it was all type of people in there, and you just in there, doing what you want to do.
Right. There's a lady in there with a baby. Not too far away from him, and I'm pretty sure that what he was smoking in that wasn't just no regular vape. So I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm looking at it wrong. Somebody say something.
No, everybody's actually agreeing with you in the feed here as well. I mean, you're not wrong. People just need to realize they got to grow up. That's the bottom line. You can't do what you want to do. If you at home, do you. Can't nobody tell you nothing at home. That's your house. That's where you pay the bills. That's what you own. That's your house. Wild out. But when you in somebody else's establishment, no, you have to follow the rules. That's just the bottom line.
Well, the definition of lame say unable to walk without difficulty as the result of injury or illness affecting the legs or feet. I see these men out here unable to carry themselves as men because they was affected by either affected by the wrong influence, by another lame or another simp, not a proven or a solid man, or they just choose that path because it's the popular thing to do. Sometimes that road to success is a narrow road, but people like to take that wide road that they see a lot of people on. A lot of people don't like to do things by themselves. They like company and they like crowds. But if you think of all the great people, but right now we're talking about great men, a lot of them men spend a lot of time by themselves because they are introspective. Man, what is it about me that I need to change in order for me to become better? What about me I need to alter? What about me I need to work on? Man, it's a wild predicament. It is a wild predicament. And then cats want to show up to the scene. Oh, I could do that. You probably can. But you're going to do it real lousy if you've never done it before, if you've never been trained to do it. I think television and movies got a lot of our males mixed up. And I think they have a wrong idea of what it takes to stand on their own 2 feet and to rise up and for themselves. Not for your parents, not for your kids, not for your wife, for yourself. If you can't do it for yourself, you're going to be lousy at doing it for everybody else. Mm-hmm. It's just a sad state of affairs that I go out and try to actually indulge in conversation and listen to how they respond, and I'm like, did you just hear yourself? Did you just hear yourself? And they don't really hear themselves. It is repeated so much around them that when they say it, they think it sounds good, or it sounds smart or intelligent, or it's the right thing to say. Right now, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Like I say, this weekend, we had a couple of jobs this weekend. It went very nice. The first activity we went to was the Black Murfreesboro Market. While I was there, I met quite a few vendors, local vendors in the Nashville and Murfreesboro area. One of them I met, I knew I was going to have a long day, and I stopped by this one table, and the young lady was selling botanicals, natural oils. And one of her oils was for inflammation. And I used it. And it worked. Because I ended up doing like 14 hours on my feet. My back and my thighs and my calves was hurting. They was screaming, "Boy, sit down, sit down." So, but I finally got a chance to use it, and it was pretty good. And I'm gonna put the websites at the bottom of the messages. This one was 7rootsdeep.com. That's spelled out SEVENROOTSDEEP.com. And she had soaps as well as the healing botanicals, oils, and salves. She even gave me a sample of a tea to help me sleep. So shouts out to her at 7 Roots Deep. I also had a chance to sample Sweet Eat Treats and Creations. Sweet Eat Treats and Creations. Their phone number is 901-326-1313. That's 901-326-1313. You can find them on IG at Sweet ETNC. That's Sweet ETNC. Also on Facebook, Sweet Eat Treats and Creations. Sweet, the letter E, Treats with the S, and Creations. They had the bomb banana pudding, man. I got a chance to sample some good banana pudding. Also, Creative Culinary Creations. That's Mr. Michael D. McLean, 615-864-1426. 615-864-1426. Also, you can reach him at Creative Culinary Creations TN. It's short for Tennessee. Creative Culinary Creations TN at gmail.com. Their website is culinarytn.com. When I tell you they had this chicken tender that was a hot chicken tender with Parmesan on it, it was the best hot chicken I've tasted since I've been here. And I've had a couple of different ones, and it wasn't so hot to where it burned your mouth. It was very, very flavorful, off the chain, man. And lastly, I met this physician that was there. It's Emerald Primary Care and Wellness Clinic. That is 815 Needham Drive in Smyrna, Tennessee. 815 Needham Drive, Smyrna, Tennessee. Emerald Primary Care and Wellness Clinic. So if you're looking for a new primary physician in the Nashville, Smyrna, Murfreesboro area, check out Emerald Primary Care and Wellness Clinic. Again, I will be posting this information. Their phone number is 615-984-4225. 615-984-4225. That's Emerald Primary Care and Wellness Clinic.com. Man, this, you run across these really nice people, when you provide security and protection services across the city and the state and the nation. We've been providing security services, again, local, nationwide, and global services for about 20 years here in the Nashville area. We also provide safety safety seminars and security training. So if your organization, your employees or employer, school, Facebook group, sorority, fraternity wants to put on a safety seminar, give me a call, 615-669-1558. That's 615-669-1558. Or you can go to my website at www.jcshegog.com. That's jcshegog.com. Now, appreciate y'all for hanging in there with me. We have to start holding our men to a standard. Without a standard, they can do whatever they want and make excuses for not doing what they should be doing. This is why a standard has been established. If you don't know what the standard is, go to a man that you admire. Go to a man that you admire and speak with them. Ask them, what is the standard for manhood? What are the basic things young men, young males should know in order for them to graduate and become men? This is graduating season. You got kids graduating from junior high, high school, and college. They proved themselves worthy. They took on the curriculum that is necessary for them to move up and move forward. There is no difference in becoming a man. There is curriculum that is required for that male to become a man. And if he hasn't passed these requirements, you're not going to get man things out of him. It's real simple. Ladies, when you come across men, ask him, what is it that makes him a man? Ask him. And just because you got a penis and some testicles, that makes you male. That makes you male. Ask him what it takes for him to be a man. And go from there. Indulge in more than just rhetoric conversation. Indulge in more than just, what he got. Because what he got, what he wearing, could be a smoke screen. It could be something that he's doing to get you off point. He'll pull up in a nice car, pull up well dressed, smelling good. Indulge. Hey, you looking nice, you smelling nice. Wow, that's impressive. Let me ask you a question. Where you from? What does it take to be a man? Answer that. And see if he knows. Because when somebody talk to you about something they know, you'll know too. If they talking about something they don't know nothing about, you can tell. It's not hard. I've had conversations with men or males, adult age males, like, where you get your man training from? And what it takes to become a man. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at those that know and those that don't know. You ever had somebody ask you what makes you a man?
No. When you carry yourself as one, sometimes you don't even have to provide that type of information. They can see it.
Right, they can see it. That's why I say proving yourself daily will show that. The fruits of your labor. A tree that does not bear fruit cannot call itself a fruit tree. You got a lot of bushes and shrubs pretending to be fruit trees, and they're not bearing any fruit. Any questions over there?
Nah, man, you hitting it on all cylinders, man.
Jenny, the makeup artist, say, and pride gets in the way. Yeah, that's the 2 E's prevents us men from doing a lot of upward mobility, and that's ego and embarrassment. Our ego will prevent us from asking for help. Being embarrassed will prevent us from asking for help. This is why the men that surround me, I let them know that it is okay. It is all right to ask for help, because I ask them just to break the ice. I may not need the help, but I'll ask them to see if they're willing to help me, to figure out a problem, to figure out a solution to a problem, to see what they would do in a given situation. And then I'll go back and, okay, well, why do that? Why do that instead of this? Or why do this instead of that? And have a real deep conversation with them. And at the end, now we've discovered something about one another. Have these conversations, because it's necessary. It's necessary. There's too many of us out here just sliding by, and we're repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And we wonder why we're not getting ahead, why we're not doing any better. It's because we are refusing to recognize the weaknesses in ourselves and strengthening that weakness up. If you know that you have a weakness for a certain type of female, then you should build up a certain strength to where you're not trying to get every female that look like that. If you got a weakness for cars, or you got a weakness for alcohol or drugs, you want to avoid those areas and atmospheres where it is offered until you can build up a strength to resist it once you get around it. Strength isn't lifting your own weight. Strength is lifting heavy weight. That's when you become strong. When you lift your own weight, you become responsible. You are responsible. And when you lift that heavy weight, when you start helping other people, when you start doing the things you don't have to do, things that you're not required to do, and you do them, that's strength. That's being strong. And we got too many of our men out here thinking that they're strong because they're doing what they're supposed to do. That's not being strong.
What about when you get tired of lifting, weight that you're not supposed to be lifting?
It's okay to say no. It's okay. You ain't got to lift everybody's weight. You don't have to submit yourself to every request. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, especially if you don't have it or if you can't do it. Don't volunteer a lie, as my pop used to say all the time. He said, don't volunteer no lie now. You're going to do it, you better do it.
Right.
And we got a lot of cats out here volunteer lies. Like, hey, If you need anything, let me know. Then you get that phone call. I ain't got it. Well, you said if I needed anything to let you know. That's man training. If you say something like, if I can help, let me know if I can help. And be specific in what you can help with. What your limitations are. And be prepared. Don't just offer it just because it seemed like the nice thing to say.
Right.
That's crazy to me. That's it's like volunteering a lie.
Mm.
You ever had anybody tell you that? Hey man, if you need anything, let me know, man. I got you.
You know what's funny? I'm usually the one that says that. I've never had that, reciprocated. There's a few people that I trust that would do that, and you all know who you are. You know what I'm saying? With JC, you included. But they're, outside of that small circle that I got, man, I don't get that a lot.
Yeah, it irks me, that they try to finesse their way. And then when you come down on them, now they want to act like you violated them.
Right.
When they started the violation. And you like, come on now. You brought this up. This is your thing. This is what you did. You started this. Now you want to be wrong, and you want to top wrong with more wrong. That's what my pops called being dead wrong. Because he ended up having to plant you after that, because now you didn't ask him to stop, he wouldn't stop. Ask him to go somewhere else, he wouldn't go nowhere else. Then you make him go somewhere else, or you make him stop. Now you want to act like you want to go to war. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. We need to have some type of what they call rites of passage.
Yeah.
We need to have for the young men, and then the men in their 20s. For the young men that is getting ready to leave home, and once they leave home, now, kind of like the difference between high school and college. A more advanced level of teaching and training. Because man, we slipping. We slipping. Go ahead.
And the second thing about it is, man, just being a young man who and I'm not gonna knock my father. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that. He did the best he knew how. With the circumstances and everything of that nature. But coming out, man, it was, we had to fend for ourselves, and we had to learn as we went.
Right.
And you said with that rite of passage and just not really knowing, just going into the world, not really knowing, hey, what's your next step? What do you need to do? I had to learn a lot, like I said, on the go. I think going to college and just going away, that really helped me a lot, because it taught me some skills that I needed, in my everyday life. Playing football in college, going under Coach Buford. That a lot of those things that helped me out with life.
Right.
A lot of guys are not fortunate enough to have those experiences and everything. So yeah, definitely having a rite of passage or something that's needed this day and age, because a lot of kids are just, man, they just out there, man. And it's I don't want to say it's their fault, because they don't know, and they don't have anybody to show them.
Right.
I could have easily been one of those kids, man, who didn't have, if I didn't have those experiences or whatnot and everything, man, I'd probably be lost doing all kind of crazy stuff, man.
This is true. This is true. And at some point, once you come out of boyhood and start entering into manhood, and you start seeing the different types of males around you, the different type of men around you, you have to make up your mind of what you want to be.
Right.
And a lot of them, they just take the easy way out, or the flashy way. You know, I listened to a couple of the YouTube channels, and they talk about, you know, men becoming better men. And a lot of them typically talk about men becoming better men, and a lot of them measure it by the number of women they could sleep with. That's not it. That's not it. The number of women that you sleep with does not give you the man pass or the man certificate. You know, any cat with a penis and right there and right time can go get some sex. But that is a measurement. I remember when we was in high school and we would go to the dances and we would see how many phone numbers we would be able to get at the dance. Right. And whoever got the most phone numbers was the man. Oh, you the man, you the man. You know, that was childish. Adolescent. That was something that we did as boys. It was a game that we did as boys. You know, they said, you know, as a child I did childish things. But as a man, I got to put them childish things away.
True.
I got to step up. I got to do better. And there's so many of us that's not doing better. We're still doing these childish things. And even get offended when the female refuse to acknowledge us. Because they see the little boy in you from across the street. Hey, baby, hey, baby, hey, little mama, hey, shawty, hey, red. You know. Then the next thing you know, no thank you. No thank you. Oh, you ain't nothing anyway. Look at you with all that blah, 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 blah. There was an incident in Memphis a couple years back. Guy was trying to talk to a female. She in the car with her friend and her kids. He trying to holler at her. She like, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. Then she finally said, no, get out of my face. He got mad and shot at her, missed her, and hit her kid in the back seat. Another instance, same start. She finally said, no, leave me alone. And he physically attacked her. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It upsets me to a point to where, you know, I want to put hands on these type of dudes because you're a menace to society. You're a sociopath. You're a danger to self and others. Just because no one will submit to your foolishness. We got to do better. We got to do better. Who you want to pop off on, man?
Man, right now, I just want to pop off on all the brothers that are out there handling their business, doing what they're supposed to do, and showing the youngsters how it's supposed to be done, man. If you're a role model out there, if you're a mentor or, you know, just somebody, a big brother, man, hey, keep doing what you're doing because these youngsters need it, man.
Yes.
Because, I mean, hey, it takes a village, man. It still takes a village. It took a village back again, and it takes one now. And, you know, we can't sit here and complain and talk about, man, they ain't doing this, they ain't doing that. Well, show them. Quit saying what they ain't doing and get out there and show them, man.
That's right.
It's our responsibility, man, to teach these youngsters what they're supposed to do, man.
That's right.
Quit complaining about it and get out there and show them.
That's right.
So that's what I want to pop off on today, man.
All right. I want to pop off to Jermaine and Malika Franklin with a Franklin Fruit Tea for hosting such awesome events like the Black Murfreesboro Market. I want to applaud you two for being such an amazing power couple and bringing the economic power or the exercise thereof so that we can be self-sufficient. I know I travel globally and I see the various communities that I'm tasked to help. And a lot of them don't have the capability of asking for government help because the government isn't there. So they have to go to the marketplace or to the bazaar and with some type of service or goods to sell in order to support the family. And we need to get back to that. We need to get back to that. You know, the sports thing is cool if you got that talent, but also, you know, learn a trade or service.
Right.
Singing and dancing and rapping is cool, but also learn a trade or a service, because this is what's going to help build the community. Next week subject is going to be the modern woman. The modern woman, wisdom versus power. And I hope you all tune in because I think it's just going to be just as exciting as this particular topic. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to like it. I'm excited about it. So please tune in again next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central. Let's grow together. Let's grow together. Life is a battle. Allow me to wake up the warrior in you. Okay? You're going to pay attention or you're going to pay the consequences. You're going to pay either way. So you might as well pay on the way in instead of on the way out, because you might not be able to afford it. Peace of victory. Wake up.
Yeah, they locking keys in cages on borders. Wake up. Expecting minimum wage to support us. Wake up. Vaccination by government order. Wake up. Trying to poison our sons and our daughters. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.